Welcome to StenchCast.
What did it do?
No looking.
This sandwich is very good.
Oh, yes. Let me take off my underwear.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to StenchCast. We are your hosts, Pench.
And Smench.
And today, we are back for the second episode of the summer. And we've got quite a bit for you. I know last episode was quite long. Wasn't it like 2 hours?
Yes. 2 hour special.
Yeah, it was a little insane. Went by pretty quick, though.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, speaking of summer, there's a certain show that takes place during the summer. You know, there's 104 days or something like that.
Breaking Bad!
Yeah, that's Jesse Pinkman's summer break, and he used it to cook meth.
He used it to study math.
With his gracious teacher, Mr. Walter White. But no, the show Phineas and Ferb. This show is part of many of your childhoods, anyone watching. And
Better be.
well, then, if it is, I'm sure you remember Dr. Doofenshmirtz and Phineas and Ferb's mom. Well, they're coming back because Phineas and Ferb is having a new season. So is Amazing World of Gumball, by the way. But the reason I bring up Phineas and Ferb is because they actually released a sneak peek of one of the episodes that's coming. And in that episode, Phineas and Ferb's mom fucking dies. She gets vaporized by Dr. Doofenshmirtz. No exaggeration whatsoever. Yeah, exactly. It reminded me of when me and Joe used to make jokes about paying Optimus Prime to vaporize someone's mom. I wasn't a big fan of Phineas and Ferb. It was always more my brother's favorite thing. And anything that he put on TV, I hated. I don't know why. That's just how it was.
That's how we do.
But yeah, Phineas and Ferb's mom got fucking evaporated.
She's gone, no more.
Indeed.
It's over.
But I'm sure it wouldn't take a genius for someone watching to notice that I am playing Elden Ring Night Rain. This game, I forgot I had it pre-ordered. This game came out at midnight of the 30th, I believe. And it was funny because I think I was literally looking up the release date, and instead of 30th, I was like, oh, that's technically today. And sure enough, it was ready to install, so I installed it and was up until like 10 in the morning that night playing the game.
As you do.
Indeed. I've beaten 3 of the Night Lords. I'm on to the 4th now. Today, I actually had yesterday, I had literally the craziest fucking run I've had in this game yet. Went into the Night Lord fight at level 13. And we absolutely butchered the ever-loving fuck out of that dude. It was the second Night Lord. And that was really fun. But, yeah. No, this... Like, I know a lot of people are kind of mixed about this. That's actually what the Steam reviews for this game are sitting at. Because it is reused assets, the game. FromSoft catches a lot of flack for reused assets, characters, models, or movesets, or whatever, like the Erdtree avatar being literally just the Asylum Demon from DS2. But I'm having a lot of fun with the game. Some people find it a little boring, which, you know, that's fair. A A lot of people have an issue with it being not quite up to par as a roguelite, which makes sense. I will definitely say that the upgrades you get for your character are fucking boring. But again, I've been having a fun time. I will always volunteer for more Elden Ring. I will gladly take FromSoft's dick down my throat. You know, that's just how it is.
Indeed.
But shifting gears, talking about old games, me and Joe have been playing a lot of TF2 lately, which, if you didn't know, is 18 years old, I believe.
Something like that. It's old.
I'm pretty sure it came out in 2007, right?
Probably. Somewhere around there.
Which would make it near at least 18 years old.
It's a billion years old.
But me and Joe still played a lot. And the other night, we were both gambling. We spent $25 each on cases. And I got my first unusual. It was fucking epic. I got the unusual splitting headache for Pyro. It's not the most expensive of the unusuals, but it's still really cool. And the splitting headache is literally one of my favorite headgears in the game. So I was really happy about that. And then I also got... I always forget what it's called. It's the one that makes Pyro look like a robot that has like lava in his fucking head.
Oh, yeah. I just saw it like the other day because I was looking at the case and I saw that it was like the fire something. I don't know. I forget.
Yeah, I don't know. But
it's too complicated of a name to remember.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we've been playing a lot of TF2. And last night, actually, we were playing TF2 with none other than our good friend Jubby. And
Indeed.
the entire night, I was doing a Donald Trump impression. At one point, someone voted to kick me from the game. And I was like, why would you vote to kick me? I'm going to deport your whole family, and then I'm going to come to your house, and I'm going to kill you. Absolutely. And then as soon as the vote kick for me ended, I voted to kick them, and everyone in the game voted to kick that person. So that felt nice. Everyone seemed to be... Yeah, everyone seemed to be enjoying my impression of Donald Trump. Joe, how would you describe the night?
Well, it was pretty epic. The Donald Trump was fun. Well, it originally started, me and Bub, and we were playing some just casual, Team Fortress 2. You know, we're queuing for a bunch of different maps, having a good time.
And I was still playing Night Ring.
Yeah, you were still playing Night Ring, so by the time you joined, it had already been like an hour, so I think we've been playing. But when he joined, he mentioned, oh, let's play some MVM, which, if you don't know, is a game mode in TF2, which is a PvE game mode. And it is basically you just fight a bunch of robots that are all like the classes you can play in TF2. And it's a fun time. There's the regular like boot camp one, and then there's the man up, which is what we like to do, which you got to buy a man up ticket for. It's just $1. You do a set amount, you complete a tour. You have a chance of getting the Australian item, which is hundreds of dollars.
I found out the cheapest ones are actually like $40.
Yeah, but like
but that's for like the fucking the syringer and whatnot. Yeah, but like the
things that no one uses.
Yeah, no, but the actually like most common Australians, even those go up to like $400, which is insane.
Yeah, they are kind of crazy. Unfortunately, you can't like put them into direct cash. It's in your Steam wallet, but that's still fine because, you know, hundreds of dollars we're bound to spend that much on games in the future anyway.
Absolutely.
So it's a pretty good deal if you do manage to get one of them things. Yeah. But yeah, so we're gonna play some freaking man up. We're gonna buy some tickets. Jordan has gotten a billion, dillion, trillion of them from all the cases. Like literally every time he opens a case, he gets a man up ticket.
Which it's actually, I just want to preface: Australians are so fucking rare that we actually encountered a dude who had over 100 tours, and I asked him if he had ever gotten a single Australian, He said no. So that's terrifying.
Yeah, hundreds of tours, each tour consisting of like 3 to 6 missions, like playing like games of MVM. So it's quite a lot.
Right.
But it's still fun game, so it's not like
Oh, absolutely.
not like the end of the world. But yeah, we were gonna. I bought a few tickets because Jordan already had a bunch. I bought a couple more because I needed some, and then Button went to buy some, and it didn't work because Steam was like, "Oh, we need to authenticate your card," and that doesn't normally happen. I don't know if they just cut him on an off day or if it was because he's like a lunatic and he doesn't have his cards set in Steam like this, have the details saved. Every time he goes to make a purchase, he manually inputs his card information, which is just... if you're going to put it in that many times, you might as well have Steam save the information. It's just as safe. I don't know what he... I don't know.
Speaking of lunatic,
truly baffling.
I'll tell that after.
But yeah, that's that little cretin doing his goofy habits of evil and such. But yeah, so he went to buy them, and he had the authentication error, so he had to get his card authenticated, and it was like, no, we can't do this till Tuesday, which last night was Saturday, so it's like 3 days, and it was like, nah, screw you, you're not allowed. We're gonna kill you. That's what Steam said. They sent an email to him telling him to kill himself. It was crazy. But yeah, so we did that, and he was trying to like figure this out, and while he was doing that, we were trying to find a way to get him the tickets. So it was like, okay, well, natural thing is, Jordan has $1 billion. Let's just make a trade, okay? Let's trade them to Jubbin. So he has them, and we can actually play. Well, he didn't have the Steam mobile app, which if you don't know, you need to have for at least like a week, and have the authenticator set up is like a precautionary measure from Steam to limit like bot accounts and shit like that. So he didn't have that, so he was not allowed to trade. And when Jordan tried to make a trade, it was like, this is going to be held for like 2 weeks or something like that.
15 days.
So that was, yeah, so 2 weeks. But it was like, dang, that's annoying. But then I got a brilliant idea, okay? There's an item in TF2 called a gift wrap. And what you can do with this is you can wrap an item into a gift box, and you can send it to another player. And I conveniently had 3 of these gift boxes, which we needed 3 tickets for the tour we were doing. It had 3 missions.
Indeed.
And I was like, okay, I just pack up a ticket. I'll send the other 2 to Jordan so he can pack up 2, and we'll send them to him. And it doesn't work because the gifting in TF2 doesn't work. It hasn't worked for probably years.
Yeah, sending trade offers through TF2 also doesn't work. You have to do it through Steam. So going onto like a trade server in the community servers tab is completely and utterly fucking pointless unless you're literally just trying to like chill and get a shit ton of kills.
Yeah, it was definitely very annoying because we ended up just not playing because I mean, what could we have done?
Exactly.
It was just,
and even if we originally brought up the idea of me just sending $5 to Jubby because that's the minimum you can put in your Steam wallet. But that even then, it's still like he had money in his Steam wallet, and it just wouldn't let him use it.
Yeah, it wouldn't let him use any of it. So
yeah,
he's kind of screwed. So we just decided, you know what, we can't play that. Let's just play some freaking 2 Fort, and that's when the Trump voice kicked in. That's when the trumpeting happened. That's when Trump walked in and to Jordan's room, killed him, and started playing TF2 on his computer. It was pretty epic, honestly. I mean, it was awesome. But yeah, we started playing with Trump, and we were playing like constant matches of 2 Fort. And well, I think what originally happened was since we couldn't play MVM, Jordan went off to play more Night Rain or some other game. And me and Justin queued for 2 Fort. And then me and Justin, we were top of the leaderboard as snipers, clowning on people who sucked at the game more than we do because that's the only people we can actually kill. We suck at the game.
That's real.
And it was really epic. We were both top of the leaderboard, destroying people, and we had like a team of like 5 snipers too. So it was just absolute chaos. And that's when Jordan came in and he started pranking around with the Trump voice and all that. And it was a good fun time. But I think the best part of last night for me had to be like an hour later when we queued up to a new match of 2 Fort. And we were just playing around, having a good time. Until we got in the match and saw that the entire enemy team was made of only scouts. It was just scouts.
Melee scouts as well.
Yeah, melee scouts. So we decided, all right, let's play engineer. So we all 3 switched to engineer. And we started making a little engine nest. Juppin put his out, like out in the actual action. So he was getting a lot of kills. He had like 10 kills within like 5 minutes or so. And me and Jordan decided to go down to the intelligence room because it's captured the flag map. There's an intelligence.
We need to guard the intelligence.
Intelligence. So we went down. We set up a nasty nest down there, which was 2 sentries.
Nasty nest.
Yeah, we had a couple sentries. Our dispensers. We had a 3rd engineer come down with his sentry, and it was kind of crazy. And then we decided that we were going to put down some freaking teleporters and have some funny teleportation action. And Jordan and the other guy, the other engineer that was with us, they both put down their teleporters to one at the spawn, and then the entrance, and then the exit was in the intelligence room. So I decided to put my entrance in the intelligence room, and my exit out at the spawn area, so you can go to and from freely. And this was the start of like the evil brain doom dysfunction of awesome. Because we got to a point where like none of the enemies were coming down to our intelligence to like actually capture or do anything. So we decided that our best course of action would be to just teleport constantly. Well, it was mainly me. I just decided to. Yeah. It'd be funny to start teleporting to and fro. So I would teleport back to spawn, and then teleport back to the room there. And this kept going for like hours, like not hours, but probably at least an hour of just constant teleportation. Eventually Justin came down too. I think we did have 4 sentries, but eventually like people started leaving and whatnot. I think Jordan even left it at some point and returned later on.
I did.
But yeah, but we were just having a grand old funny gamer time down in the intelligence room, and I just kept teleporting. We got Justin to the top of the leaderboard with 130 some points.
You got him to the top of the leaderboard
with like almost like 200 teleports.
It's real.
It's absolutely just insane, crazy gaming. But yeah, that was our night last night, and besides that, in terms of TF2. I've spent like a bunch of money on gambling and lost it all. I've only opened one unusual, and that was my like first ever case. And I should have just stopped there, but I decided to keep going because I will get another one, and it will be epic, and it won't be like $2, and I won't cry over it. That won't happen. But yeah, the original reason we got back into TF2 because it's one of those things we get in and out of, but we originally got back into it because of Justin. He was just playing on his own, and the one night I was playing with him, I was like, hey, he was like, hey, well, let's play TF2. I was like, you know what, yeah, why not? And since then it was like epic. I love TF2. I don't know why I stopped playing because I got bored of it and I didn't want to play it anymore. That's why I just but now playing it against this matter. But TF2 is epic. I love TF2. Yes, TF2.
That's real.
It was a TF2 experience and such. It was awesome.
Well, I mentioned when you said lunatic that I had another story, and that story has to do with none other than the man who created TF2 himself, Gabe Newell. If you don't know, Gabe Newell for the past like 20 years has done this thing where he answers every single email he is sent. I wanted to challenge this myself. So, I sent him an email titled Emailing the Man Who Answers All His Emails. Let me find it. Here it is. Good afternoon. Mr. Gaben, sir. I've been playing your games since I was a homunculus and I still play them to this day. That's right, I use my super epic gaming computer of evil to play games made 20 years prior. One of those games is TF2, and a couple of days ago, I put $25 into the slot machine and gambled on 10 bone-chilling bonanza cases. Clearly this was the correct decision because I was awarded my first unusual, the unusual splitting headache for Pyro. I can't quite strike the same luck for an Australian in MVM Man-Up, but I will someday. I hope you're having a wonderful day, I wish you good health, and I demand you give me an Australian right now. Sincerely, a lunatic. He answered back the same day. Sorry, lunatic, but I checked under the cushions of my sofa and I'm all out of Australian. And I used to play the Left 4 Dead 2 developer commentary thing a lot when I was a kid, because it was fun to just kill zombies that literally wouldn't kill me. If you don't know, when you have developer commentary enabled, the only level you're able to play is the parish, but the infected just won't attack you. They just ignore you entirely.
Yeah.
But like I also remember playing the developer commentary for TF2. Back when I had the orange box on Xbox 360. So I know Gabe's voice pretty damn well. So it was fun reading that email in his voice, and it's also a very Gabe Newell response. I checked under my couch cushions, and I don't have any Australian.
Real.
But yeah, that's my funny Gabe Newell story.
Indeed. Gabe Newell is actually the epic.
He is. He absolutely is. Owie. Why'd you hurt me?
It's real.
Um,
Speaking of the absolute epic,
yeah.
recently we played a specific game. Speaking of games as well, we played a specific game recently that we've talked about multiple times on StenchCast, and we've always had wondrous stories about it too. And that game is none other than the freaking Dungeons and the Dragons. Dragging my nuts across the floor because they itch. And we played that game. What? What was wrong by what I said? The Dungeons and Dragons? Anyway, we're playing Dungeons and freaking the Dragons. And we played that like a week ago by now. And we're gonna continue to play it, so look forward to more stories about that. But we originally decided, hey, you know what, we're gonna do like a session 0, which is basically where you sit down, you get the feel for the campaign and the story.
Ooh, actually, no.
You figure out what's going on, and then introduce all your characters, and it's epic. And then maybe play through a little bit, like maybe a battle or two, whatever. So we went in thinking that's exactly what we were gonna freaking do. Little did we know, there was more in store. Because we got there, we're horrible at planning, so by the time, we finally got there, we finally got around to playing and such.
Yeah, we planned to go at 2, we ended up there at 9.
Yeah, but that just happens, it's, you can't do much about that. But we still got there, and we played the game and such, and we sat down, and we had our DM, which is the Boondocks, that funny guy, who was the DM previously. We're starting a new campaign fresh. Everyone's making new characters, all the good stuff and whatnot and everything. So it's freaking epic. And we sit down. We're in the Gibby garage where we always play and such. And oh damn it, I died. But yeah, we're playing. We're doing that, and we're playing and have a good time and such. And what we did was we started the campaign, introduced our characters, and we played for like 4 hours. Which, again, we said it was a session 0. Yeah. It's not going to take too long. I played 4 hours.
It was like 1:30, I think, when we quit. 1:40.
Yeah, it was pretty late, but we did that. It was awesome. It was epic fun time and such. And as for characters, so my character, it was, sorry for it. His name is Groven Frankel. Well, I'm just speaking. Like, am I not allowed to speak about our topic? Like, is that
it's a free country. He can speak whenever he wants. He can fart wherever he pleases. I'll deport you.
My character... Okay, my game crashed. I didn't want to play
to Venezuela.
But yeah, my character's Groven Frankel. And since my game crashed, I might as well pull up the character sheet here so I can take a better look at it.
Oh, wait.
But,
it's this dude.
My Groven Frankel's a dude orc. He's a cleric. Playing a cleric orc. It's pretty epic. His background is he's the high priest of the evil Church of Doom, who worships the god, and it's pretty epic. He's a sly little evil guy who goes around committing evil, but within the law. Within the reins of the law, he's lawful evil, and it's pretty epic. It's fun playing a cleric. I have 17 armor class, which was pretty decent. It was pretty high. I think I have the highest of our party. And that just comes with, being a cleric and having a shield. It doesn't come with being a cleric. I just have a shield. But in high dexterity. But it's been pretty epic. I have pretty decent stats. And I even had... When I was making my character, I missed a specific part where I could increase my stats. So I was missing out on like 3 whole stat points, which is absolutely insane.
Indeed.
So now
that is literally always the case, though. Like, we always find out later that we were just nerfing ourselves.
Yeah, we're nerfing ourselves in one area. And also, like, being way too overpowered in another area. So it really just makes up for itself. But he's a pretty cool guy. I actually I went online and did like an AI generator thing and made like a little profile picture for him. So it was pretty cool. Stop highlighting. Okay. It's also like one of the first times I've used a character that wasn't on a paper character sheet, because I just used in the app. I ran out of character sheets and I didn't feel like getting more, and I don't have a printer and bother, whatever. I might still put them on a piece of paper because it's a lot easier. But I've come to realize that the D&D Beyond app is very, very nice for not only making characters, but for using them as well. And it's very nice. I've learned a lot more about how... Because, we're still noobs at the end of the day. Like, we still have no idea what we're doing. We'll sit down and be like,
absolutely.
How does this spell work? How do we do this attack? Like, what do I add? But I think But I think I'm pretty close to, like, understanding a lot of things here. And it is in part due to the help of the D&D Beyond app, because it automatically puts in, like, different calculations for your attacks. And it's very nice. And that leads us to today's sponsor. We're sponsored by D&D Beyond. No, we're not, but that'd be epic. I'm just sucking their dick for free here, but I don't mind because it's pretty epic.
It's a pretty tasty dick.
Yeah,
it's real.
But
what the fuck is that?
I've been using the thing here, and it's quite nice. And this is also like one of the first times I've ever actually genuinely made a character, because I've played a few times where I've made characters. initially started as like a DM for a group. I played like once before with some family members, but that was mostly like a DM until there was like 2 campaigns where I actually had characters. The first one we played like one session, so it didn't really matter, and I didn't really make a character or a background or anything. I just put in the information needed to like get the stats and whatever, and just made the character on the fly. The second one, I didn't make a backstory. I just made my guy have like evil dementia of doom and forget everything ever. So I didn't have to make a background.
Remember.
But this one I actually like started. I made like a small background, not like anything with like super deep roots or anything, but it's got some flavor text, and it's pretty nice. And it's very fun. So, and the whole D&D thing has got me really into it again. I made another character just for fun, and it's because I made that after I figured out like a bunch of the stuff with the D&D Beyond app. So I wanted to use my newfound knowledge to make another character, and I think I made a pretty OP barbarian with 20 strength.
Yeah,
which is like genuinely the highest you can get in any stat for level 1. So that's.
I wonder like how big of a bonus that is to your attacks too. Would that add a bonus?
Yeah, so I have a great axe, and when I roll the d20 to see if I hit someone, I add 7 to that. So, as long as I don't roll a 1, I could probably hit most things. And then my damage is 1d12 plus 5, so a minimum of 6 damage, a maximum of 17. And then, what was the one trait? There's one, like, feature or trait or something I have. I forget which. I think is it class? I think it might be class action. Where is it? What the freaking heck? Okay, guys, what the heck? Where is it? Well, one thing is with my background, I have like weapon mastery, as it is called, and you choose 2 weapons. I chose a halberd and a great axe because they both are cleave. And weapon mastery just lets you use an additional move based on what weapon you have mastery in. So these 2 are called cleave. And what cleave does is once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack using that weapon, you can make another attack against a second creature within 5 feet of the first one you hit. So it's pretty epic. I don't think you add the modifiers though, but you are able to make 2 attacks in one go. And wait, is this it? No, okay. What? Okay, no. Maybe it was this and I read it wrong. I'm pretty sure I thought there was something I had where if I rolled a critical hit, I would roll like a 3rd dice for attack instead of 2. But I think I was just like on a evil trip of doom.
Real?
Because I don't see that anywhere anymore here. But that would have been really epic. But oh well. Either way, pretty high damage, pretty decent, and then the cleave attack. And it is quite the epic. But yeah, I've been into D&D, playing some Baldur's Gate here now. But I'll give it over to Jordan so he can talk about his character and his D&D experience.
Oh fuck. Yeah, so I made a warlock. I did something that Mad Max did a long time ago, which he made a ranger that was a cowboy. I made a warlock that's a cowboy, so every time he uses his Eldritch Blast, I just say that it's his revolver. And my idea with him was that he would be sort of this like silver-tongued devil. He can talk his way out of a lot of things, and so far it's worked really well. At one point we were talking to this this like drill sergeant guy at the barracks of a town that we found ourselves in, and the first thing he noticed was the revolver on my character's hip, which I actually brought my 1857 Remington Peacemaker replica BB gun with me as a prop.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, I'm sure you've never heard of the town of Red Rock, which I got from the movie Hateful Eight. But I'm the sheriff over at Red Rock, and he didn't even make me roll for like deception or anything. He was like, yeah, I believe you. And it felt really good. He gave us what we wanted, which was just information for one of the story beats. But he's also been really fucking shit up. I only missed like maybe 5 attacks out of the whole night, and we had like 5 entire fucking fights. Many of them
a good couple battles.
were quite large. I don't think any of us actually died at any point, did we?
No.
No, we did
Came
really
close
good.
a few times.
Yeah, I came close a few times. Gibby came in clutch with that. At one point, Gibby actually tried to barter with a shop owner with the food, because his character, his whole thing is that he's a bard, but instead of music, he just makes really good fucking food. He's a chef. He's a world-class chef. Well, at one point, I tried to use that to barter with a shop owner. Now, this was like, I handed Gibby a fat W here. He fumbled it. And not only did I hand him this W, I think I also convinced Boonus that he could have advantage on the roll. And Gibby rolled the absolute most dog shit of all time. It was actually fucking horrible. Both rolls. Yep. And the store owner straight up just told us to get out. So that was... yeah. And we kept clowning on him the whole night. But... well, do we... There was one person that was absent, if you want to take over for that, Joe.
Indeed. So, normally we have a group of 6 people for D&D, like everyone who's interested in D&D. I mean, the amount of times we actually have all 6 people there is non-existent. Like, that just doesn't happen. Truly. Yeah. And that night was no different. But what was different was the person who was absent. Freaking Niall. So,
indeed,
if you've listened to our D&D stories before, you know that Niall is a core member of the D&D shenanigans. He's always been a player. He was a DM once, and that was the one campaign that we played like one thing of, and like never again. And it did. I mean, I don't know. It did kind of suck, but that wasn't the full reason. We stopped playing that, and he wasn't there today, and that was like the first time he wasn't there when we were playing D&D.
We were playing Dick.
And we're playing D. But one thing I noticed, now that Niall wasn't there, it's kind of crazy. There was no arguing. I wasn't like incredibly annoyed at any given point in time. It was genuinely just a fun night of D&D.
Yeah. And
the amount of times that has happened is, well, that was the first, I think. Which, if you could believe that,
Yeah.
But, yeah, we did that. We played without him, had a good time, and now... no one wants to play with him again. As bad as that sounds, that's the truth. Because I mean, within our friend group as an entirety, we haven't really had that much fun with the guy, or haven't had much good interaction with him. Yeah, it hasn't been the greatest, and he's doing himself no favors.
Yeah,
to say the least.
Like, on top of no arguing, no annoyance, no nothing, we also just didn't get into any completely unavoidable circumstances for no fucking reason because of one person's stupid fucking decision.
Yeah.
There were so many fucking times when Niall would be like, I think I'm gonna use this. No, Niall, you're gonna burn the whole fucking house down. Don't do that. No, I use it. Okay, and then of course, every time. Okay, so yeah, Niall burned down the house, and now we can't get this item that we were coveting.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, it was. Times like that were never fun, and it was always. I mean, the only good thing about it was that made him the butt of the joke more so than he already was.
Yeah.
So, you know, he got unbelievably clowned on
Recasting that?
into oblivion, and yeah, it was pretty epic, honestly. You know, it was
Yeah.
quite awesome that he wasn't there,
Indeed.
and we had a freaking good time. But that was our fun D&D stuff. I didn't mean to do that. All right. Well, let me reload. But yeah, I'm playing Baldur's Gate right now, which is the D&D game. It's been out for a while. It's a great game. Gotten back into it here, and I
Yeah.
started a new save file. As you know, I did an orc fighter, well, half orc fighter, because I don't have like a full orc. You know, I'm screwing around with an orc. They got some cool class abilities and features that, you know, are pretty good. So I decided, you know, let's make one as a fighter, and that's what I'm doing now. And if you don't know Baldur's Gate, you start on like the evil Nautiloid ship, you fight your way through, and then the final battle you're against Commander Zolk. And the only reason I know his name is because it's right in front of me. But
Yeah.
you don't have to defeat him. He's level 8. You really are in no position to be able to defeat him. But you can, because he sucks, and he's completely focused on fighting a level 8 Mind Flayer that's on your side.
Indeed.
And
For the moment, anyway.
you know, if you do kill him, he drops a pretty cool sword that really helps you early game. And, you know, I wanted to do that. So I did exactly that. I killed the guy, I got a sword, and then progressed with the story. But the one thing that went wrong was the character that picked up the sword was Lae'zel. And
Yeah.
after you crash the ship, you find Shadowheart immediately. You know, you have your player character, but Lae'zel's a bit further off. And now it's not like a huge amount, but it was an amount, and that was too much for me.
Yeah.
You know, needless to say, I decided to just quit playing the game, and I haven't played it until today, which that was like a couple days ago I played it. But now here I am playing it again, and I'm doing that exact fight again, and not having the same luck. I genuinely don't know how I killed him the first time and was able to get the sword. It was very last second. I think it's just down to luck. I'm not getting...
It literally
as
is,
lucky
because
as before.
every time I've ever done it, I've always relied entirely on the Mind Flayer's attacks, because they do a fuck ton of damage when they hit. And
Yeah,
I think one of the times that I got his sword, I literally just save scummed.
That's what I'm doing now. I'm
Yeah.
got like halfway in the fight. I have a save. I got to the point where he died. Shadowheart was the only one alive, but there were still the other two, like tiefling guys or whatever they are, and they
Yeah.
would just endlessly kill Shadowheart even after. Well, he
Cambions.
was at 2 health. Yeah. But the Zolk was at 2 health, and I would have to have Shadowheart not only land the attack to deal 2 damage, but then also pick up the sword and run away unscathed, which is just not going to happen. So I went back to my other save here, which this one's doing pretty good. He has 28 health. What are they called? The Cambion guys are like 1 turn away from being able to attack me. So I think I'm doing fairly well. I've the first time I did it like incredibly well. Like I genuinely had like the best luck. I killed him, got the sword, and had Shadowheart leave, because I always have her just run to the end. And, you know, the end, which actually, now that I think about it, if I redo the fight, I could probably just put Sanctuary in her
Damn.
spell list, which I should have done before, but I completely forgot about it.
That might
But,
be the
you know,
cheapest
whatever.
way I've ever fucking died in this game. Like in
Yeah.
Elden Ring, in this game at all.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the fuck just happened. The boss just put out a giant fuck you ray and put everyone to sleep. Killed both of my teammates immediately. There was no telegraphing for it, nothing. And then I was also put to sleep, but somehow lived, and then I got killed by nothing, apparently.
Epic.
Like, okay.
That's real.
Continue.
But yeah, like I've been hacking away at this guy here. I can't remember exactly where I was. Oh yeah, if I put I forgot about the spell sanctuary, which in Baldur's Gate, the spell sanctuary is like incredibly OP, but it's not the same as in 5e because original like 5e D&D, which is like the tabletop, the rules differ from Baldur's Gate because they had to make it into a video game. They're going to change the stuff, maybe make some things more fun. And it's a lot different with Baldur's Gate because when you're playing D&D, there's a DM who's controlling the game, and they also want to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
You can't like go blasting through their campaign, destroy everything. But this is a video game. There's no DM. Who fucking cares? Like you can download fucking cheats and have fun, and you don't have to feel morally wrong about it.
Yeah.
And I might do that for some future playthrough, but I want to get this guy here dead. I want to murder him, kill. But yeah, it's been a fun time. I mean, I still haven't actually beaten the game. Of course you have an opportunity, Zach. Why the fuck I'm retarded? But yeah, I never actually beaten the game yet. I got to the third act, which I believe is the final one, and I didn't get too far into it before I lost interest. But you know, I played it multiple times since. It's been a fun time. It's been epic. Oh shit! He just kind of turned on me. All right. I didn't realize the mind flare turned in you after Zulk died because he hasn't survived this long. But it's all right. I got this. I'll win. Yeah, epic funny, the D&D and such. And we're like I said, we're gonna be trying to play, well, at least like every week, really.
We couldn't this
Once a
week
week.
because literally just like time constraints did not allow it.
Yeah, well, Gibby was in a completely different state for
Yeah.
like some college stuff, so that didn't work out.
Indeed.
But we're gonna try and aim for like Fridays and such. And you
It'd
know,
be
hopefully
so
we can.
nice.
Indeed. Because the campaign's really good that our friend has prepared for us, and you know, again, it was supposed to be session 0, but he somehow like made a fucking 4-hour long
No,
beginning.
like Boonus is a very good fucking DM. He's able to write entire fucking campaigns like front to back within the matter of like 2 days. And it is also just a good fucking campaign every time. Like it's a story you can actually get invested in. He thinks of shit that like is exactly the type of thing that like thinking of me ever DMing, I would dread like hell. Like there is so much shit. There's like, oh, you thought of us doing that? Either that or he thought about it on the fly, which
most of it is like that's a big part of DMing because like for example, like
improvisation. I couldn't say it.
But the very first encounter we had, which like we spawned in, we started the campaign and we were let me open my inventory, you freak. But we were in the game and we were right next to a house. And why is my fucking inventory not opening? I want my sword. There we go. We spawned in right next to a house, and my initial instinct, you know, someone said like, "Oh, we can get supplies," and I immediately was like, "I'm going to steal." So I was devising plans and such, and we went in, and you know, he hadn't planned out like anything much with the house, but I was like, "I'm going to go to the bathroom, aka I'm going to steal things," And he was like, "Oh, okay. Well, there's a hallway." And
yeah,
then,
since my character is, I think I straight up made him chaotic evil, which he's not. I don't think he's actually like all that evil. He's definitely a character who's like, oh yeah, I grew up on the streets. I did what I had to do to survive. But I did make the joke a lot of, so if I shoot some random woman in the street, and so Joe's character and my character get along really well, and we were both part of this little scheme, and I was playing Uno with the inhabitants while he went and snooped around.
indeed, yeah. I was like, "Oh," he was like, "Oh, the bathroom's this door." And I was like, "Is there any other doors?" He's like, "Well, there's this door." And then I was like, "Okay, go in there." There's his parents' bedroom, and he made up this whole thing when there was like a sticky note on the ceiling fan and a key under the mat to the drawer, the bottom drawer of evil.
Yeah,
But that's just typical like improvisation.
yeah, it's a hard word, isn't it?
Yeah, but he did pretty good. And like I was DM. We have. It was a campaign Jordan wasn't there for, unfortunately, but it was our pretty much best campaign yet because the only one we actually finished, and it was like one of the starting ones, Lost Mine of Phandelver or whatever, comes with like the starting kit, which I think there's a new one now, so it's the old starting kit, I guess, D&D starting kit. But we played through that, completed it. It was a very good time, and I did like a whole bit for Niall's character, which of course. Because he just found himself not at all in the story, so I had to make up a whole new fucking story for him. But it was still good. It was a very good time. Had a good fun, and it was awesome. But we played. I'm hoping that one day we'll be able to finish another fucking campaign.
That would be
and
awesome.
That'll be our new best campaign ever.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Because at the end of the day, what we're playing isn't just a game, but it's also a story. And you go through the story, you get attached to these characters, you find new characters, you get attached to those characters. And it's just a grand old great time. Because like the campaign I was just referring to, when we finished, there's a character, it was a little goblin, his name was Droop. Completely made up. It was, I forget where we were. I mean, I forget everything about that campaign, but we were just in some cave fighting goblins. And like I made up this character like Droop on like a whim or something, and there was another. He was just like serving some other like higher up goblins. He was just like he was this little tiny weak guy. His name was Droop. The group took him along as like a companion. Just took him around. And we're having fun and such, and. Like towards the end, Mad Max, he made, he was like collecting items throughout the campaign, just random bits and pieces, and he made like he just started like throwing stuff into a pot, and he was like, "What does this make?" And I was like, "Roll, do this, whatever." And he made like this weird concoction of this giant cauldron, and they like threw Droop in, and he came out this giant, buff, muscular goblin guy.
Yeah,
and he was like really like. He was like actually able to be a like team member, but it was very epic and awesome and such. Oh, Sanctuary, there it is. Oh yeah, baby, I love that. Oh, but yeah, it's very fun playing D&D and the shenanigans you can get up to and whatnot.
Yeah,
I cannot wait to do more. Good. Well,
that's real.
Anything?
I had a lot of fun. Not really. It's the most fun I've had playing D&D, and it's what made me want to play Warlock in Baldur's Gate, which I gotta be honest, I'm not crazy about. It's not the most fun thing in the world. Eldritch Blast and Baldur's really isn't all that wonderful. And also, Warlock starts out with, like, absolutely zero useful proficiencies. He doesn't have proficiency with any armor type. He doesn't have proficiency with, like, any weapon type. You you're relying pretty much entirely on his magic, which
That's a warlock, yeah.
I might as well just play fucking wizard at that point, though.
Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, because like
I-
that's the thing. Like even when we were playing Baldur's together, like I think I was like having to explain to you like the barbarian had
Yeah, no
unarmored
proficiency. Yeah,
and like putting armor on them actively like it did bad for them.
Yeah.
And you know, so it's definitely like not everything. Like armor class isn't specifically tied to armor.
right.
It can come from like different features and classes and whatever and magic or whatever. But
Yeah.
so I remember I was playing monk on that run, and I think I also had unarmored defense. So I was going through and I kept finding like I think there was one point where I found like some amulet that was like, oh, +2 armor class if you're not wearing any armor. And I was like, yes. But yeah, there's a lot in D&D that you gotta know to do properly.
Yeah.
But
Which I think I just
too hard.
when I leveled up for his name was Ryan Gosling, by the way, and I made him look like an Ender Dragon. I even painted all of his armor and capes and everything purple.
Yeah.
But I think what I ended up doing was when I got to a level where you could choose another feature for him, I gave him proficiency with heavy armor. So I brute forced my way into having armor on a barbarian.
Yeah.
One of my favorite
I forgot
perks for D&D and Baldur's is alert, which gives you +5 to your initiative rolls and also allows you to never be surprised. So in ambushes, the advantage of the initiative roll doesn't apply if it's against you. It is literally the best fucking thing on the planet. In Baldur's Gate, 2 of my characters in my party have it, and guess who always gets to attack first without fail? Every fight.
The enemy.
Yeah, man. Though I hate on Shadowheart a lot. A lot. Because she misses so terribly fucking often. It is actually horrendous. And I found out that I'm not the only one who seems to have that issue, because apparently she just starts off with the absolute most dogshit wisdom and intelligence stats, despite being a cleric. And I guess that's to funnel you into not using her as an aggressive character, but holy fuck, why start her off with shit like Guiding Bolt or Sacred Flame or whatever, and then have it miss every fucking time?
Yeah. She has 17 wisdom.
I forget what stat it was that they were saying that like messes with her
It might
attack
be,
rolls
like,
or something.
charisma. Well,
I don't know.
'cause
Maybe.
attack has to be like wisdom.
I don't know.
It's specific.
Either way, she misses all the fucking time. She is literally the worst at being an offensive character.
She's a cleric.
Yeah, I know. But a cleric should still be allowed to fucking land and attack every once in a while. Especially when her spell slots are out and she can't heal anymore.
Oh, don't do that. Don't stop. No, stop.
Yeah, Joe is the one who uses her the best. During our co-op campaign, he had control of her. We had a little deal where I would control one character, he would control the other. I chose Karlak and made her into a melee tank. 'Cause that's always what I do. My character was also a melee tank.
Yeah.
And yeah. What the fuck is this guy doing? You marked the Everjail. Why are you not going to the Everjail? You fucking whore!
Yeah, I take what's her face? I take Shadowheart, and then I basically, the way you play Shadowheart, or maybe just any cleric in Baldur's Gate, is you put Sanctuary on her, and you give her healing spells, and like probably like most of your scrolls of Revivify, and then she is like almost invincible support character.
Yeah.
Which is very epic and such. Oh, why? Well, then use the. I just picked up a lockpick, thieves' tools. I can't use them probably. That makes sense. Okay. Well, Astarion's just up here, so I'll just get him to do that.
Speaking of Astarion, he is my least favorite character in Baldur's Gate out of the cast. I know that's like absolute fucking heresy to like everyone who genuinely enjoys the game. I just don't fucking like him.
Yeah.
I always take the more realistic approach with him, which is not only did you attack me the second you saw me, after asking for help, by the way, you took advantage of my kindness. But also in the middle of the night, you tried to drain my blood through my neck. What the fuck? That doesn't show trustworthiness at all. I get you're a vampire and all, but like, you have the option to go hunt animals. So usually I end up kicking him out of my camp or just not allowing him to join in the first place. I know that rogues are very useful. I don't care. I don't fucking like them. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, there's Astarion. He does have like his story definitely starts picking up in the third act.
Oh, absolutely.
So I mean, I haven't gotten too far into it myself, but you know, you may, and I also have him like in my original save. My party is my paladin gnome, Schnorfel or whatever, Shadowheart, Astarion, and
then he opens the Everjail by himself. What the fuck?
So he's definitely like I definitely have him as a permanent memory. I think I had like Gale, and then I was like, Gale fucking sucks.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that like you think as Gale sucks and I think Astarion sucks. We had very different experiences where Gale was my saving grace a lot of the time because he was always my ranged damage dealer. So I would always place him like way in the back, and then when I needed it most, he would be my fucking like he just did an insane amount of damage at range. Whereas like Will, Shadowheart, and Astarion were always my least used character. Yeah, Will's just not a good character. He misses every fucking attack. He is so utterly buttfuck useless.
I don't even think I got him initially, and I had to like go back. It's like, oh, I want to get the characters, and then I just never used him because he sucks. He just sucks.
Yeah,
I could not be bothered.
I told that to another friend of mine while they were playing Baldur's Gate, and they love Will, and they're like, "What?
Yeah,
how could you hate him? He's so cute." No, he's not.
He's so bad that I genuinely forgot his existence.
Yeah.
That's how bad he is.
I'm always reminded of his existence whenever he gets tieflingified by Mizora. It's like literally the only reason to have you around is so I can see Mizora, that absolutely bad woman.
Amen.
It's real.
A leather helmet. Give me that.
Real.
Oh yeah, baby. But yeah, that's. I mean, that's the thing with Baldur's Gate, in my opinion. Great game, I love it, but I mean, and there's the entire point of like playing through it multiple times is you can pick multiple characters. There's so much more you can do. You can find like every nook and cranny of the game, but it's still the same story. And to me, playing through the same story over and over again, it doesn't really matter how much replayability it has, unless it's Kingdom Hearts and I can just mindlessly play that 20,000 times in a row, which is the only game I seem to be able to do that with. I'm not really gonna be able to like keep playing a game over and over again like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this Mind Flayer. Kill him. Kill him now. Leave it to die. Slowly. Attack. Give me your items. But yeah, how long have we been going for?
Give me 1 sec.
1 Mississippi?
Shut
Okay.
the fuck up, you fucking whore. We've been going for an hour and 6 minutes. So if you want to do the... Huh?
We still got
Yeah,
it.
we do.
We still got it.
If you want to do the plugging and such...
Indeed. So we have been the StenchCast. We stink, we smell, we are StenchCast. We're on YouTube here, which, you know, that's where you're watching us or listening to us. We have a Discord, which is free to join. You should totally join us in the bio of our YouTube channel and such. We have... Oh yeah, we're on Spotify. I mean, it's not updated, but, you know, maybe one day it will be. Once I get better internet.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's going to be a couple of years for that, but, you know. Same with Patreon. We don't talk about that, but if you want to, for no reason, for nothing in return, you can give us $5. But...
You can get into the Discord. Oh, wait, you can do that for free.
Yeah. Wow. You get a cool special role in Discord that does nothing. So...
Yeah.
If you join the Patreon, so you know, $5, you can get like a random title in a Discord that like there's like 10 people in, maybe not really. There's a few people in here, so you won't be alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh, I do have cleave. Swing. Okay, yeah, I thought so. There's a action of cleave in Baldur's Gate here. I guess. What was I using? A short sword? Okay, well I have a long sword. I think I have proficiency or mastery in that. So I have cleave in here. Okay, that's different. So swing your weapon in a large arc to attack up to 3 enemies at once. That's very different. But I like it. I like that a lot.
It can miss, though.
Yeah,
which is really annoying.
It does, too. It does miss.
A lot.
But usually it'll let you... use a reaction instead, if you miss.
So confused. I was using a longsword, and it had lacerate. What am I? Wait, what am I? Oh, longsword and great. Okay, I'll figure out the difference one of these days, which is not today. But yeah, that's we cast stench. It's smelly, and we have our main channels, which you definitely came from. Don't lie to us. We know it. You can't lie to us. We'll know if you're lying. Because you'll be lying.
Real.
And we'll know. But yeah. I think that's about it. You got anything else to add?
I don't think so.
Alright.
Have a good one, peeps. Good night.
Indeed, bye-bye!
Shut up.